Today we will take a look at backing up and restoring NGFW Security Management Center configuration. NGFW Security Management Center is used for configuring, managing and monitoring NGFW engines. All the NGFW configuration is stored in the SMC database. The management server backups store the configuration created in the SMC and can be used to recover the system in case of, for example, a disk failure on the SMC server. Backups allow you to also relocate SMC easily to a new hardware. The management server is the only component that contains usable, complete configuration information for all the NGFW engines. For this reason, taking regular management server backups and storing those backups in a safe storage location outside the SMC host is crucial. It is also possible to create log server backups. However, those include only the basic log server configuration files and optionally logging data. Most common use case for log server backup is to use it when moving SMC to a new platform. As it is far more important to have up-to-date management server backups, in this video we will focus on backing up and restoring management server. There are a few different ways you can create a new backup. When logged into the SMC with management client, you can right-click the management server element and select backup. In the backup task properties window, add optional comment, check encrypted and define backup password if you wish backup to be encrypted, and select whether backup should be stored on the management server host disk or on the local workstation. Click OK to start the backup task. The new tab opens and shows the backup progress. When backup is created, you will see the full path to the backup file. The second option is to create a backup via the backups page. Click Configuration, Administration, Backups, and the server you wish to backup. Then click the New button and select Backup. This opens similar backup task properties window as the previous option did. The third option is to use the SMC server command line. I have SSH session open to the SMC host and will navigate to SMC installation folder and switch to the bin folder. Then run sgbackup mgt srv script. On Linux, the script has .sh extension and needs to be run with root permissions. On Windows, the extension is .bat and local administrator rights are needed. The options discussed so far allow administrator to create a backup manually. However, due to the importance of management server backups, it is best to have scheduled backups taken daily or weekly. This is done by creating a backup task. In the management client, navigate to Configuration, Administration, Tasks, Definition. Click the New button and select Backup Task. Give name for the task and add an optional comment. Then add management server as target. Enable backup encryption if desired and click OK to save the task. Next, right-click the backup task you created and select Schedule. Use the repeat selection to define how often you wish backup tasks to run and specify when tasks should be repeated on. Here I select weekly backup to be run every Saturday at 1 AM. Optionally, you can also define end date for the task with repeat until definition. The final action allows defining alert to be generated. Click OK to save the definitions. Remember also to copy the generated backups to external storage. SMC itself does not have tools for this, but you can use OS tools like RunTab to schedule copying of the backup files to external storage device or network drive. Restoring a management server backup is possible only from the command line. On Linux, you will need to use an account that has root permissions. On Windows, the local administrator rights are needed to run the script. If the backup file is on an external media, first copy it over to the SMC backups folder. On my Linux server, the default location USR local forcepoint.smc backups is used. When the backup is available on the SMC server, stop the management server. On my host, SMC servers were installed as services, and thus I can use service sgmgt server stop comma to stop the management server. Once the server is stopped, run the sgrestore mgt backup script from the smc bin folder. On my server, the script is usr local forcepoint smc bin sgrestore mgt backup.sh. The backup restore tool then lists the backups available on the backups folder. Type the number of the backup you wish to restore and press enter. Type Y and press enter to confirm. The backup restore might take a minute or two. Here we'll speed up the video to the point where backup restore is done. Once the backup is restored, restart the management server service. If SMC-HA is used, database content needs to be replicated from the active server to the standby server after backup restore. To do this, log into SMC. In the management client, right-click one of the management servers and select SMC-HA administration. Then select the standby management server and select replication, full database replication. This starts the replication and you will see both management servers turn gray momentarily. Depending on the size of the database and bandwidth between the servers, the replication can take from a minute or two to tens of minutes. Once replication is done, you will see active server with green color and standby server with blue color. This concludes the video. Thank you for watching.